For the next tune, we need to practice not a 1 but a 2-octave scale. As the range of the tune broadens out, we need a little more space to play in. When you play a scale more than 1 octave on the violin, the fingerings change in the second octave. We've already played the G scale, and we know that on the G and the D string, the second and third finger is close. But as you go on up through the A and the E string, the first and second finger becomes close. So I'm going to demonstrate that scale now. The standard scale, open 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3, with second and third close. Keep going, but first and second are now closed. Down. The arpeggio now becomes more complicated. I'll say it and then play it. Open 2, open 3, and then on the next string, 1, 3, and nothing but second finger on the last string. Now I'll play it. Open, second, open, third, first on the next string, there's no open, third, no open, and second on the last string, and back down. The tune is a famous old tune called The Happy Farmer, and it's in the key of G, but it goes more than just an octave, as our earlier tunes have, and I've decided to put some slurring notes into this. I'll play it first and then talk about it. Then singles, legato. You pick up the bow and start again. Once again, a tune with a second ending. Now, let me talk you through this. It starts on open D and goes up to third finger, all bowed down. Now up to first finger on the A, going up to third finger on the A, all bowed up. Now back to third finger on the D, going to second finger on the A, bowed down. Open E to second finger on the E, bowed up. Open E to third finger on the A, bowed down. It's hard to cross strings and keep the bow going in the same direction. Then single bows, first on the A, second on the A, first, open, second. Then first finger on the A, open, third on the D, first on the A, open A, first on the D, second on the D, third on the D, and an open A. Then again, slur the D up to third finger, open D up to third finger on the D, first up to third on the A, going up bow, third on the D, going up to second on the A, down bow, open E to second on the E, up bow, down bow, open E to third finger on the A, first on the A, second, first, open, second, first on the A, open, third on the D, first on the A, open A. This is the second ending, so it's first finger on the D, second on the D, open D, and third on the D. Now let me play it again with the bowings and the notes, and I'll give you some time to practice. pick the bow up and start again. Second ending. Now don't get caught like some people playing the first ending the second time around, or you'll just keep going and going in a loop and you'll never get back for the next lesson. I'll be right back. As we move on into the last portion of the lesson, we're going to do a scale that does not begin on an open string. We've been using G, D, and A. And now we're going to move on to the key of C, which begins third finger on the G string. The shape of this scale is similar to the second octave of the G scale that we played earlier, only performed on a lower set of strings, and it goes third finger G, open D, first on D, close second finger, third finger, open A, B, and close second finger, C note on the A string. Let me demonstrate. Here we go. Kind of walk up to that third finger note. That's the first note. Open D, first on the D, close second, third finger on the D, open A, first on the A, second finger. Back down, second, first, open A, third on the D, low second, close first, open D, and C. Now the arpeggio is the same as the second octave of the G scale we just learned. 3, 1, 3, 2. Memorize this. It's like a little constellation, little dot. For the last tune I've selected, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. It's in the key of C, and we're going to do a few things that we haven't done. So far we haven't put the fourth finger down and fingered a note, but in any of these scales we've played, the fourth finger note would be the same note as the next string up, the open string we've been playing. In this, we're going to go from open G up to C, from open G up to third finger. Then the next note goes like this, which you know. But instead of going on an open string after third finger, we're going to put the fourth finger down and lift it back up, so we won't have to cross over strings for just one note. Open G, third, 3, 4, 3, 2, and on these next three notes, which are first finger on the G string, we're going to play a portato stroke, so it's all down. Like that. Now let me demonstrate that. Then go up to the D string. First, open, third on the G, second on the G, and 2 open Gs. And on that second and 2 open Gs, we're going to do another portato. Then up to first on the D. 1, 2, 1, open, 3, 1 on the G. Those two are portato. 3, 1. Then 2 open Gs. First finger. Another fourth finger on the G rather than an open D. Second, 3. Now let me play that. Portato. 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 Fourth finger. How did that go? You didn't think I'd leave you with so little to go on, I hope. We used the fourth finger to smooth out the fingering. We started on a down bow, but you might have noticed that all that worked out so that some of the important notes were on up bows. And in general, in fiddle playing, there's a rule that the strong beats or the strong notes will go on a down bow. It's not that simple, but by the time you've made a lot of decisions over the years about bowing, you'll go by feel and how it sounds. But let's start this tune, instead of on a down bow like everything else, on an up bow, and find out what happens when everything reverses. Start on the up bow. This is called a pickup note because it comes on a weak beat. 1, 2. Now let's push, 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 down. Push, 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 down. Pull, pull. And we ended on a down bow. That sort of thing can only be learned by a violinist with trial and error, and I don't see any reason to make a lot of rigid rules about it, because by the time you've learned how to make it a good sound and play smoothly, you're no longer really thinking about it, you're just feeling it and it flows out. I'll be back in just a minute with the last lesson. Of course, you've noticed by now that in addition to just putting my left hand fingers down in the place they belong, once I get them there, I've been moving my finger back and forth to make this sound. And of course, this is called vibrato. Listen to a note without vibrato. Then with. It's a much warmer sound, and I know it's something that you're going to want to be working towards as time goes by. But this doesn't come overnight, and many people look at it and think, well, your hand is so loose, you must just practically put no pressure down with your finger at all. But that's not true. It's an illusion. I've always kept my finger in tight contact, and even though it may look loose, it's a very controlled back and forth movement. It's not in my finger or my wrist or my elbow or my shoulder, but a very relaxed combination of all those places. I found that one tip that helps my students frequently is to rest the scroll of the violin either against a wall or on a few books on top of a table or somewhere that secures it so that you don't feel like you're losing your grip on the violin as you practice this. And then move your finger. Don't slide the finger. The tip stays in contact. It's the bone inside and all the rest of the muscles and bones that are giving. Of course, that's exaggerated, but what vibrato is a sharpening and flattening of the note, very slight, and in time it will come, and that's the best way to get it, is when it comes naturally. I'll be right back with a closing comment. In closing, I'd like to thank you very much for your attention. I'd like to ask you to go back and view any portion that is difficult as many times as is necessary. Sometimes I might have done something that's more important than what I said. I also want to encourage you to buy a book or books on the violin and someone reading music on the violin. We haven't covered that, and really the art of violin playing is operating the instrument from the music that you know inside of you anyway, not looking at a piece of paper and typing, but reading music is a great asset every violinist should have. Or you can buy our video, Reading Music Naturally, for fiddle. I hope you have a lot of good luck, and once again, thank you.